Rising, everyone. Ooh, so welcome to my new series, Crack of Dawn. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. So, be sure to share this video. Make sure to be interactive. This is not just about me. This is about us. So, for those of you who don't know me, I am Coach Carla Nicole. And the new Crack of Dawn series is to invite you to welcome your awakening at the very crack of dawn. And how you do that is by being truthful to you. Now, that is not often easy. I get it. I know. It's easier to just tell ourselves little tiny lies, little tiny fibs, and I understand that, but we're not going to lie today. We're going to tell some truths. Now, understand this, it's not always easy to be honest, but it is very important that as we learn about this Crack of Dawn series, we will learn that each episode is going to be full of enlightenment, full of ways to become more mature and also learn more about ourselves. Okay? So today's topic is about is our age, are we really mature when we age, when we get older? Because of the days we've spent on the planet, does that actually say that we are our actual age? Well, the answer is no. And I kind of want to blame a little bit the fact that in this society, we've been taught that if we are a certain milestone through birthdays, then we should be able to problem solve, handle certain situations. Not only just that, also understand certain things based upon our age. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's true, but that's what we assume, right? As an example, we'll just use this as an example. We'll keep this short and sweet. When we're 16, we are so-called grown. We know how to drive. We know how to handle the vehicles. We know all of that, right? Well, some of us shouldn't be driving at 16. And let's not forget, once we become a certain age, let's say when we get 21, it's okay, or should I say legal, to drink alcohol. Should we? Well, it depends, and if we're really not responsible, then we shouldn't be drinking. However, because the society gives us ages that which we can do something, we believe that, okay, we're all developed in that time frame to handle it. However, that's not the case. Please be sure to visit my Patreon. My Patreon has my ebook called She's Beside Herself. And in this book, I explain the difference between your actual chronological age. You know, for me, I'm 52, but there's days that I'm acting 10. Can I be honest? Yes. I don't hold it back that I have my own moments, okay? So we all have those moments, and we all should be okay when we do what I would call emotionally regress back to our younger selves. It is a process, it is something that happens, but again, this is just life. This is just human beings and what we deal with. It is okay, but I want you to be aware. This is what my reason on this planet is to make you aware as to why you seem to regress into a madness, or I don't know, we go a little crazy, we throw tantrums, we get upset. Why? Well, in each stage of our life, we have emotional maturity and maturation that should happen. However, dependent upon our life events, our scenarios that we deal with, our experiences we've had, sometimes, unfortunately, our age in emotional maturity actually gets arrested. And so because of that, we find ourselves confused as to, I get short tempered. Let me tell you something. It is easy because I actually have a test called the Soul Freeze test that you can actually take and see where you actually fall in your age progression to help you to understand, well, am I really where I need to be as far as my age, or is it maybe I'm a little bit still immature on some things? We all need to come to awareness of our emotional age so that we understand how to become more emotionally aware with ourselves. Okay. So I want to bring this up because people that have seen that I have the Soul Freeze test that haven't taken it, but they see the actual spectrum that I gauge to help to determine your maturation and your age range. A lot of people will go on that spectrum and they'll say, "Oh, I'm emotionally elegant." I'm like, did you take the test? They're like, "Oh, not yet." It's like, okay, well, the test is $47. You can take it right now. And when you take it, be aware that when you take the test, it's going to give you some insight about you. Now, when we look at the spectrum, there's three things I look at. I look at your reaction. I look at your your reaction, your response, and then your resolution. Okay? Thank you for the compliments, loves. I appreciate it. Be sure to share this and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. It's very important. So, again, I look at reaction, I look at response, and I look at the resolution in the spectrum to understand and determine where you actually fall in this scenario. Now, here's the thing. Now, here's what is so funny. People will look at the spectrum and say, "Oh, I'm emotionally elegant. I handle things well." And I'm like, "Did you take the test?" They're like, "Oh, not yet." I said, "Well, if we grade ourselves, let's just be honest. If we grade ourselves in any type of grading system, I'm not even talking about the Soul Free test right now. I'm just saying, when we were in school, we were taught A, B, C, D, or F, and some had E's. So we all want to achieve. So we always want to hit that A marker, right? I want to be an A student. I want to be an honor student. I want to be able to get, scholarships. And this doesn't apply here. Your emotional maturation doesn't have anything to do with your so-called ability to react a certain way, to respond a certain way, and to make solutions in certain circumstances. That has nothing to do with the A, B, C, D, F grading scale. So I'm helping you out to understand that's not the same thing. Okay? So, as an example, people will look at it and say, "Oh, I'm emotionally elegant. I do well." I'm like, "Okay, but hold on. Before you are very confident in what you are as far as how you handle certain things, let's look at something from a different perspective. When everything is peaceful and everything is fine, well, sure, we're very mature. We know how to say certain things. We know how to do certain things. And we know how to give good advice. Of course, yes. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you sit down and you truly, honestly look at when things are unpredictable. When things happen that you weren't prepared for. When sickness comes before you. When your child might be in an auto accident. Now, our emotional maturity is now in our face. We said we're emotionally elegant and we can handle things fine and everything's great. However, you're not looking at when you go out with your friends and you have a glass of wine and then you're sipping and laughing and sipping and laughing and oh my God, hilarious, and drinking and drinking and drinking, not paying attention to your consumption. And you're sipping that wine and you're laughing and joking and and you get in that car and then you get pulled over. Now, your reaction, your response, and your resolution is at a whole different understanding now, because now you're in handcuffs. Now you've never you've never had this happen. You don't know what to do. Our emotional maturity is determined at moments like this, not when everything's just fine. And everything's predictable. We're having a basic day. Our husband comes in, hey babe, gives us kisses and goes to work. And then, he picks up this and picks up the kids and everything's fine. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Our emotional maturity happens when we are least expecting it. When someone dies on us instantly and we had no idea we were going to lose them. We just talked to them yesterday. All of these scenarios can cause us to feel away or feel concerned or feel overly consumed. So with that said, I want you to understand, in these scenarios, I'm showing you that, oh my God, we can be challenged with our emotional maturity. Okay? Here's what's even deeper. Yes, I went down that dreadful zone of, having been arrested and oh my God, I lost somebody I love. But wait a minute. I don't just go upon the spectrum of bad news. What if overnight you do something? We'll just say as an example, you go and help someone and you don't know who this someone is. This someone's a billionaire. You help them. You give them aid. And the next thing you know, the news is showing you as a charitable person. You've helped this person. And now you are from your regular familiarity, you are who you are. But now you're well known amongst your whole city. Now, oh my God, I am not aware, or I don't know what to do with all this new celebrity. I can't just go out of my house now because everybody knows who I am. Aren't you that woman that helped the such and such a billionaire? Didn't you go? I saw you on the news. And guess what? Now your emotional maturity is totally different. These are circumstances that we are unaware of. These are circumstances and situations we can't prepare for. However, I'm helping you to see the undeniable pressure that comes upon our emotional maturity when things are not all prepared for. Now, with that said, I want you to think about something that's very important. When we are in our state of growing immaturity, a lot of times we don't realize the difficulty it is to be engaging with our attitude. So remember I explained earlier how we react to something, how we respond to something, and how we resolve something determines your actual mature age, not your chronological age. And I don't know if you're aware, but a lot of times we will be in a love affair and our mate, whether it's our man or our woman, but we're talking to women primarily, but there's men that have dealt with this as well, where your lover will tell you, can you just act your age? Why do you have to be so damn immature? I don't understand why you can't just figure out this and that and the third. Well, it might not be that they're immature. It might be that's where their emotional maturation stopped. So they didn't continue to develop Because when we were young and taught that after a certain age, you automatically are at a certain wisdom and understanding. When you're a certain age, you're automatically okay to do certain things in aspects of life, traditional you know ideas or traditional things we want to do. We're automatically allowed to do things. So when you're automatically allowed to do things, what happens? We go ahead and do them, not really waiting to see if it is actually time for us per se to do it. Just because, like I said earlier, just because at 16 you are allowed to drive does not mean you should be driving. Just because at age 21 you are allowed to drink doesn't mean you should be drinking, or necessarily that you could be drinking. That's not a good thing. So hold off getting so excited about the milestones already society has placed as being the time frame to which you should be doing something, including love affairs. We have been taught early on, at 25, are you married yet? Well, why aren't you married? Are you at least engaged? Are you in a relationship? Well, is everybody at 25 a good time for them to be in a relationship? No. So it's important that we get away from getting so caught up in blowing the candles out on our birthday cake and being excited about our birthday, being here on the planet in certain amounts of years, and start paying attention to, well, wait a minute. Am I really matured in my emotions? Because unfortunately, there's a lot of 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 50 years old, sometimes 60, 70-year-olds that are still in the 10 to 12-year-old emotional mature age stage. And they are there because they never were challenged or questioned that they are the age they are. But they've had little clues through their life that they're not really mature. But who's going to stop them? They're going to just keep doing what they do. They're not going to say anything or try to change that. My age is what it is on my driver's license. Yes, it is. However, that doesn't mean that your mature age in here is the same. So, I wanted to fill you guys in. Here's what I want you to think about and what I really want you to journal on today. This is very good for you to consider, and really it helps a lot of my clients that have struggled with getting past understanding that they may not be where they need to be, but they still have so much hope in their journey. Now, me, as far as a coach, I'm big about not just giving people hope. I give people actions to do today so that they can start making their steps to age and emotional progression, to improving certain things. Okay? So ask yourself this question because it's very important. Ask yourself, am I really emotionally okay when things don't go my way? Ask yourself that question and then journal about that. And then after you journal, please come on here and please tag me and tell me on this chat what you found out. When was the last time you were triggered and you just didn't do too good? If you can think back. I will share with you my last time that I had a trigger and acted a fool, okay? Because I don't have any shame in my game. I will challenge my own coaching just by doing it amongst me and sharing with myself, sharing with you the stuff that I deal with. So one day I was door dashing, because that's my other side hustle. I was door dashing and I happened to be driving the speed limit, of course, because of course I'm driving someone else's vehicle. At the time, she's being kind of bitey about the speed limit. She's older, so she doesn't want to be over the limit and all this. So I'm driving the vehicle. We're kind of on a country road and we're driving. And all of a sudden, this car behind me I'm talking about, he's on my ass. Like, what the hell is going on? Why are you riding my ass like this? And he's just riding it and riding it. And I'm like, I'm not going to speed up because this is not my vehicle. And I'm not going to go any faster. So now, of course, we understand when driving that if you have those lanes to where you can go around, then go around. So anyway, I'm driving and this person is yelling, cursing, had her little son flicking me off, acting a fool. I'm yelling and cursing and all this stuff. And I was like, ooh, I said, I done went back to acting a fool. So now I had to come home and journal about my actual, actions. Because what kind of coach am I if I'm not honest with you about what I go through? So I had my own little expression of road rage in a moment of time just because I was driving the speed limit. Someone behind me was trailblazing me. I'm pissed off because I don't understand why you can't just go around and there's double lines so you don't have to wait on me to change my limit and all this. All that stuff just went left to center on my own. So I went home. I journaled about it. And I chuckled because, of course, I'm human and I make my mistakes as well. But here's what I found out. In my soul freeze test, I realized that day I was already a little edgy because my financial health was a little low. I was kind of having those moments where I was like really pressed. I had quite a few things pressing as far as financially. And I'm like really already on edge about that. Now I'm door dashing using someone else's vehicle, and this woman is biting to me about the speed limit. So now everything is like boiling inside of me. And I'm sharing with you this so you can understand how we can go in this direction quick and not realize how important it is to be understanding of your own self-awareness. It's very important. What I found out is in that particular scenario, when I look at my triple R spectrum, which is again reaction, response, and reflection, resolution, when I looked at my actual spectrum, I fell that day between the age of 10 to 12 in my mature age emotionally. And how did I regress back to 10, 12 age in maturity in that scenario? Well, I'm going to fill you in. When we have scenarios where we're not mindful of the fact that we are already dealing with something that is already egging us on to not already being patient. Patience comes with being aware that, okay, I'm a little edgy today, so maybe I need to be a little more mindful that anyone that does something that is not going to be to my liking, I need to pay attention to the fact that I am a little bit off. There's some things going on with me, and I want to make sure that I can be aware of this. In that awareness, it will help me to now, instead of react just like that, because I'm angry, because I'm mad, because my finances ain't right, and now this person's going to trailblaze me, and I'm trying to drive the speed limit so she won't be upset I'm driving her vehicle. All of that stuff, right? I'm thinking in my soul like, well, I don't know, how did I get here? You got there because you were not resolving the scenario. You ended up being reactive to it. So in our reactions, we have a tendency to go left to center, like in that car that day. You end up going left to center. And this is how accidents happen. This is how mistakes happen. This is how arrests happen. This is how something that we do well blows up into a newfound, media story. And now everybody knows us and we just want our privacy back. We don't want everybody to know what we did. We just wanted to do something kind. Well, it doesn't matter. The lights are on. Everybody knows who you are. Now you are in a whole different realm. Now everybody knows you. So what do I do with this? Well, you have to understand that when you are aware of where you are as far as your mature age, you can now develop through different coaching techniques, learning different things to journal about, also coming up with plans to prepare in the event that something happens like this. Test your patience. Practice every day. Practice your meditation. Ground. Be aware of certain things, because what happens is when we are not being mindful of certain things going on, we just end up being reactive. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. Crack of Dawn episode 1 was today, but I will be doing these Crack of Dawn episodes every other Wednesday at 7 a.m. This is early in the morning, but it's also important that we awaken our truth in the morning so that we're aware of what is going on. And being reactive, being responsive, and being a resolution is 3 totally different things. So you have to make sure that you pay attention. Everyone on here, share how you feel. Be sure to subscribe. Don't forget to challenge yourself, and don't forget to do that journal prompt, because it will help you to make better decisions when you are feeling a way about how you responded. And then don't forget to pay attention to what was your trigger. Remember, I explained to you, my trigger was my financial health was dipping a little bit in that particular time and at that and during that day. So I was already edgy. So when someone comes up on my tail and starts yelling and acting a fool, my instant reaction was to act a fool and respond back to them. However, when you go back, what I do with a lot of my clients, I'll tell my clients, well, how could we do it differently? Well, first of all, understanding that I'm already on edge because I'm already having issues with how my financial health is looking. What can I do to improve that? You're using someone else's vehicle because she's not too happy with you going over the limit, even 2 miles per hour, then you have to be mindful of that. So I didn't do anything wrong, but what I could have done differently is responded differently, because now understand, when I was doing all that road rage, my temperament went up. I was screaming and yelling. The person that's riding with me is like, who is this woman? I'm on the phone with my partner. He's like, well, all of that cursing, what's going on? So I ended up just changing everything and acting a fool because I was so upset. But again, when I looked back, I noticed that, okay, if I was to say, like I said earlier, if I was to say, well, I'm actually emotionally elegant on unusual occasions, on an everyday basis, when life is predictable. That's true. Yes. However, when the unpredictable happens, when unforeseen things happen, when, someone messes with my family or whatever, I'm right back at age 10. Because I get very protective. And it's a part of me. And I know that unfortunately, that's a part of who I am. However, I need to evolve her. I need to evolve into a better way of being so that I don't develop high blood pressure. I mean, I have a little brink of it, but it will get worse if I don't stop with this. So I'm sharing this. Be sure to share this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Like I said, Crack of Dawn episodes will be every other Wednesday. I am going to try to make sure to share different little things for you to understand. It's important that we don't get too consumed, if you will, with getting all encompassed over what we can't control. Don't forget to do your breathing exercises, and I'll show you a breathing exercise really quick because I do like to share with you something you can use right now today. I don't like to give anybody in my coaching realm, in my world, this is Coaching Matters channel, so don't forget to subscribe to it, but anybody that's covered by me, I want to show you something you can use right now today. It's my breathing exercise it's my breathing exercise that I use every day. And I'm really helping my other clients to use this also. It really helps to help you to gain control. So what we can do when we are feeling an upset, when we feel out of control, when we feel frustrated. If you sit kind of in this posture like I am, and you just breathe, inhale for 6. I'm sorry, inhale for 4 and exhale for 6. You will be amazed at how you feel. So I'm going to show you and demonstrate to you right now how I do this. So I inhale as deep as I can for 4. Okay, so I'm going to show you. I go like this. And I hold it. I exhale for 6. Once again, we inhale for 4. Hold it. Exhale for 6. When you do this breathing exercise, you will feel a calming feeling from the top of your crown, which is your head, all the way through your body. This, my love, is something you can use at any time, any space. This is in your full control. Okay? The breathing exercise is inhale 4, exhale 6. I teach my clients this. If you're a parent, if you're a new mom and mothering is overwhelming, don't get upset. Teach your little one, hey babe, can you take this? Can you get the diapers for me? Mommy's overwhelmed a little bit. Can you grab this and do that? And when your baby, the oldest one, does a little task for you, inhale for 4, exhale for 6. I'm going to do it again so you see it. Inhale deep for 4. Hold it. Exhale for 6. When you do this exercise and that child comes back with that diaper, your baby is going to see a different, so serene, peaceful version of you. That child's going to think every time you need something, you're going to be in a better mood. So that child's going to become more helpful, which is going to be great for you to kind of digress all of the actions you need to do for you. But also, you are in a practice to practice breathing techniques that actually help. I gift you something today. Please do the journal prompt that I gave you. Don't forget to do the breathing exercises. I am gifting this to you now, so you don't have to wait till tomorrow. We can get off of this. You can get off of this live, share, and subscribe, of course, and then go into your peace, into your shower, go get your iced coffee or whatever you're drinking, and do that breathing exercise. Put it to the test. I do it to my clients all the time. I'm like, did you do your breathing exercise? Oh, I didn't. I forgot. Oh my God. Like, that is the best thing you can do, even in a corporate meeting, and tell people, listen, give me a second. I need to go to the bathroom. And you're in a meeting, right? It's getting overwhelming. You're feeling your throat close up because your throat chakra is trying to shut you up from saying something that's not of the norm or not in the majority. And you're wanting to close up. Say, can you excuse me for a moment? I need to make a bathroom run. Do that breathing exercise. Go in the bathroom. Just inhale deep. 4. Exhale 6. When you come back from that bathroom break, you will feel the openness of the throat chakra that allows you to speak, even though no one really is in agreement with what you have to say. And then, even if you mess up, because this is wanting to close up, it doesn't want to be okay. Speak anyway. Speak your truth. Say what it is you want to say. And then you will get more confidence as you continue on in your career, in your meetings, or whatever you got going on. You cannot allow this to close up. You can't allow fear to stop you. This is why these breathing exercises are key to really helping to mature you and to develop being able to speak freely without feeling, oh my God, if I speak, somebody's going to say something or be in a disagreement with me, wanting to argue with me. And if that comes to be, say, excuse me, this is where I stand with this. And then you bring out your data. This is why, because of X, Y, and Z. And even if they're still in disagreement, be like, that's okay. Let's agree to disagree and then move on. Because see, there's no sense in arguing with someone. It's wasteful time. You're not going to convince this person to change their mind. But what you don't do is give up on you. I'm going over because I only supposed to do this for 20 minutes, but I'm seeing some people are getting something from this. Don't forget to share with me what's something that you are struggling with. If you guys tell me what you are struggling with as far as, your emotional, in your emotional age, what is it you need me to help you with? I mean, I will share on the next show how to make better decisions. Our decisions are usually hindered when our maturity is not where it needs to be. Decision making comes easier the more we practice taking care of self first. We want good love affairs, we have to love self first. We have to get into a spiritual practice. We have to be consistent. When we're inconsistent and all over the place, and I will and I don't, and we're not really mindful of saying things that we mean to say, then guess what happens? We end up saying things and not backing what we say. All of these things cause us to regress in our age, in our mature age. And these are circumstances of not knowing how to develop and not knowing how to improve our way of being. Our mature state comes when we start to realize, oh, okay, I can actually build up. I can actually become more aware of self when I'm not feeling so closed off. I can't speak. I'm terrified to speak my truth because I'm afraid somebody's going to tell me I'm wrong. It is okay if somebody doesn't agree. But just make sure you're prepared for how you support what you believe. You don't have to be argumentative. You just have to support your own understanding of why you say what you say. This is another thing. A lot of people want to get argumentative, and two things I don't go back and forth about is religion and politics. I won't go back and forth with people on that. That's endless madness. But what I do try to create and help people to understand is if you can actually build your emotional maturity, you will start to feel more joy inside. You will begin to feel more aware of how to improve your source and yourself. Share with me anything you need me to help you with. I am a coach out here. I do coaching one-on-ones. I will stick my link in the chat so you will be able to see it. You can book me, and then also to get to take my test, the Soul Freeze test, to help you to find out what age you're really falling at. I will put the link in the chat so you'll be able to do that as well. And again, like I said, all minds are clear. I do want to make sure that you don't forget to subscribe to the channel and don't forget to share this video. The more that you share what I teach, the better, because we can get more people to understand that maybe there's some work that needs to be done as far as how they mature. I did put my link in the comments so you can book your session with me one-on-one. It doesn't matter where you are because we could do a booking via Facebook Messenger or Zoom, or we can just talk one-on-one. I can give you my 800 number. You can even call my 800 number. It's 844-5-WISDOM. You can actually call that number or you can text that number. Hey coach, I really need some help with what I'm going through, and then we'll book a time where we can talk. And then my extension for that is extension 0. So you can meet me for that. And then also I have a Patreon. I'm putting these in the notes so that you can actually do with what you want, whichever one you want to get a hold of me. You can use either one. And also, I have a Patreon. It's Carla Nicole on Patreon. And I would love for you guys to come over there because my Patreon, I give a lot of information. I include quite a few tools that you can use. Not just be, oh, that's nice, but no. This is stuff you can use right now. Just like I showed you the breathing technique right now, you can use today when you get off of here. That's how I coach. I don't coach to just have you lingering and asking you about a bunch of questions. No, we're going to problem solve some stuff. We're going to get some things in action because for me, coaching means I'm coaching you in the game plan of life so that you can make your moves, so you can do what you need to do to get better at what you're doing and how you're doing it. Basically, more self-love is essential while we're here. You will hear me be a little bit bitey with certain clients and say, you're self-love deficient. And they'll look at me and say, I love myself. I said you are self-love deficient. I didn't say you didn't love yourself. You're self-love deficient. There is a practice to loving yourself. You can't just say I love myself and that's it. No, it takes practice to love yourself. It is just as much commitment to self-loving as it is to loving on a man or a woman or your children. You can't just sacrifice yourself and not love you and practice loving you properly and expect to get better results. It's not how it works. You have to learn, where am I falling as far as my emotional maturity? Am I where I need to be? Or am I just aging? I really don't know if I'm growing in wisdom or not. I don't know if I'm doing anything right or not. I'm just living and just letting the years roll by. That's not proper. We have to pay attention to, how is our maturity getting better? How are we evolving as women? Are we evolving? That's the question. If you're not evolving, why aren't you evolving? What are you doing to challenge yourself in improving loving you? You got to study you. Man, let me tell you something. As a mother, and I'm a mama of two, I got a daughter that's 26, I got a grandson that's 6, and I got a son that's 17. And when I tell you, as a mother, I study the crap out of my children. I learned every little nook and cranny about them. Well, what's my son love? My son loves cars, and my daughter loves to be a social butterfly, and she's into makeup and prettiness stuff. So I had to learn each child. But what good is that as a parent, not knowing anything about me, but I'm learning all about my kids? I can sit here and tell you a whole list of things my daughter loves and where my son goes to school and how many successes he's having, but don't know nothing about me. That means I'm not being in love with me. I'm not loving properly myself. That would then be an example of self-love deficiency. And yes, that exists. Self-love doesn't just come just because we're here. No. There's a lot of people that are mean to themselves. They're not nice. They're overthinking. They're not being aware of what's going on. So you have to be mindful that, no, I have to practice loving on me. I do. And so with that said, it also takes time for me to study. I have to pay attention. So don't forget you. It's easy. Trust me, I know. It's easy to get so old. And then when I became a grandmother, now listen, grandparenting is completely different. You think you loved your babies. No, try grandparenting on for size. Put it on. Try it. See what happens. You want to talk about spoiling and all over them and oh my goodness, and when they call, oh, can I get this and I want that, and next thing you know you're broke because you're taking care of that baby that is your grandchild. We will go over, I'm talking about, we were already bad enough with our own children, but once we become a grandparent, it far surpasses what it should be because we can't help it. We get so involved. And then we realize, well, now I got all this debt. I'm not being mindful of what I should have waited. We have a tendency to go too far. We really do. So I want you guys to pay attention. It is very essential and very important that we don't get beside ourselves. And also don't forget to get my book, She's Beside Herself. Now here's this about this. This emotional maturation is actually from excerpts of my book, She's Beside Herself. Now, She's Beside Herself book is a book for us to learn the importance of um, learning our chronological age and versus our mature age, and then being able to tell the difference. And in this book, I share a lot of information. But outside of that, I want you guys to grab the book. Now, the actual ebook you will get today if you join my Patreon. My Patreon links and all of that is in the comments. But if you get the book is just $22.22. That book will teach you some things that you will not believe. First of all, it will help you to understand, oh my God, I have made some challenging mistakes with loving me. And then the second thing is, if you're not really big about reading the book, because you might be more like, I don't have the time to sit down and read a book like that. I just don't have the time. Okay, well, get my audiobook. It's $33.33. Get that then. And then you can stick me in your earbuds and you can listen to She's Beside Herself. And this again will help you to understanding, oh, so when I do X, Y, and Z, I get these results because I keep regressing back to my younger self. Why do I do this? Well, there's reasons. There's reasons we have to finish the last word. There's reasons. There's reasons we have to go left of center. There's reasons we have to say what we have to say, whether somebody likes it or not. That's all. That's all real stuff. Trust me. I'm telling you. So like I said, make sure to subscribe to my channel, babies. I am way over time. I am supposed to be gone by now, but you guys have me very inspired to keep talking. But no, I'm done. But anyway, share this video because again, when you share it, it really helps build the channel. And don't forget to subscribe. And like I said, join my Patreon. It's free. Or if you join my membership, you can actually get my ebook, audiobook, and all of that for just $20 a month. So you'll get a lot of jewels if you join my membership. So again, I'm here if you want to book with me. Great. I have great specials right now for coaching. And I know everybody's been kind of tight, but you can get your coaching. I have 6 sessions for $4.97. So you can get that done. I'm telling you, I am really, at this point, trying to build society, trying to build relations. And I don't want you guys to think this is just about me. Every time you come on here, you'll be able to take a technique and use it that day. I don't want you waiting around to figure out, well, how am I going to get, I don't have all that. I don't have this. I don't have that. Well, you have a way to breathe. I just showed you. I gave you a journal prompt to do today. So make sure you take it and write it down. Get you a journal. I got journal books, a journal prompt, a PDF on my Patreon for $7. You can get that where you can have 30 days of journal prompts to actually fill out certain things that's pressing to improve your emotional maturity. So, thank you for joining Crack of Dawn. Until the next sunrise, have a good one, guys. It's your coach, Carla Nicole.